welcome to another episode of GOV 101. I'm Jeff Knowles.
And I'm Marcia Hampton.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Georgia Downtown Association.
Yes.
The Georgia Bus Tours.
Yes.
And the Georgia Municipal Association.
Yes, and what does that have to do with the city of Douglasville?
And what does it have to do? That's what we're here for.
All right.
That's what GOV 101 is all about, explaining how the city works and how different aspects of government interact with one another. Mm-hmm. We use acronyms for a lot of things, too.
Yes. So can I use my acronyms?
From here on out, we'll use acronyms.
Okay, so will they put it on the screen?
Georgia Downtown Association, GDA.
All right, yes.
Georgia Municipal Association, GMA.
Yeah. We can throw in a couple other ones. DCA.
I don't know. Yeah, Department of Community Affairs. I don't know that the Georgia City's Bus Tour has an acronym for it. But
no, because they always come up with some type of theme for each year.
We'll just call it the Bus Tour.
Yeah, that's it. But it's sponsored by the Georgia Cities Foundation, which is GCF.
And you went on the bus tour.
I did go on the bus tour, and I'm still exhausted from the bus tour.
That was weeks ago, Marcia.
No, but I'm still tired. But the communication staff, some of the folks from there, went with me also, so they really should be tired.
Yeah, a little bit later on, we're going to show some footage that we got from the Georgia City bus tours.
Yes.
And see what you guys really did.
Yeah.
I saw some after-hours footage, and it was...
Was I in the after-hours footage?
Yeah, I think.
I don't think I was in the after-hours.
All right, we'll try to catch you out if you were.
But we were a host city a couple years back for the bus tour.
Yeah, 2 years back. I remember that.
We were actually the first city on the tour, which, you know, being on the bus tour, you get a different perspective and you kind of get a chance to see, you know, what's the better advantage of being the first city, the last city, or somewhere in between gets the advantage. I think if you're the last city, you really have the advantage. I think it was tough for us to be the first city.
Were we the first city? I thought we were in the middle. I didn't.
No, we were, because don't you remember the grits in the martini glass?
I thought we did that at supper, dinner, lunch, breakfast. What?
I know it's a southern thing, but we hosted. We're the first city for them out of Atlanta. They came in, they stopped in. Remember, they had the red carpet coming on the plaza.
I remember this.
Okay.
I was a presenter for.
You were.
Some of our one component of our city, and I think I made the.
And what were you talking about that day?
I was talking about the downtown master plan. And,
that's right.
And how we were working toward it to make our city better.
Yeah, and the purpose of the bus tour, for those of you who don't know, the Georgia Cities Foundation gathers a group of developers, elected officials, and foundation members across the state of Georgia to encourage them to develop in downtown. The Georgia Cities Foundation is a nonprofit organization of the Georgia Municipal Association, and it helps to fund loans for downtown development programs. So it was beneficial for us to have those folks in to, one, see what we were doing, and to see what we were currently doing and what we could possibly be doing in the future. So hopefully maybe one of those investors, one of those folks would come back to Douglasville. And I can say, being a participant this year, they did remember Douglasville.
Good.
They did remember the grits and the martini glasses, which we were duly noted at our latest coffee card exchange that is considered the dot-teeny.
Dot-teeny.
Did you hear that?
I don't know. I just knew we had grits 5 meals a day. I'm not sure that I don't know when the martini glass was incorporated.
Yeah, it is now being called the dot-teeny.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't
for a local resident,
yes.
Dot Pageant, who used to host our downtown coffee card exchange, but now it's on the plaza, and we had a great, wonderful 2010 coffee card exchange in downtown area. It was a little humid.
A little bit.
But yeah, it's Georgia for you.
A bit much. Well, I can tell you on the bus tour, ironically, I think we went as far south as Thomasville. But it was a little bit cool when we were there. But it was really, really hot when we were headed back, and we had to stop in Cordele. It was very toasty. So, and that was on the way back on the last day. But,
so what cities did y'all visit on this bus tour this year?
I'm probably not going to get them all right. I think we visited 9 cities. Hopefully that's correct, but I know that I will be duly noted and corrected.
They'll let you know.
We went to Sonoy, which is not Sonoya, for those folks who pronounce it Sonoya. It is Sonoy.
So Sonoya is just south of
Peachtree City, kind of like in that area, kind of around there. I don't really know that area, but it's like in that area.
Palmetto, maybe.
No, I'm not good with geography.
I think it's one exit away.
Okay, yeah, one of those. Yeah, one of those. So Sonoy, we went to Griffin. We went to Cordele. We went to Albany. I'm not saying them in order. Tifton, Valdosta, Thomasville, Wow. All Americas and Moultrie.
Okay. Well, we'll have our editors go through and they'll fact check that just to make sure that you were in those locations. So we'll look at those. We'll look at some components of that in our footage that our film crew. I wonder if they could name the cities that we were in.
They probably couldn't. They'll probably put them in order. One thing I can say, I was there representing the Georgia Downtown Association, which I am. I have been a board member for the last 5 years.
But not the city of Douglasville.
Not the city of Douglasville.
Okay.
I was representing the Georgia Downtown Association. However, I cannot go out of town without representing the city of Douglasville.
Okay.
Because almost everywhere I had my shirt, that's it. Douglasville, Georgia.
All right.
So, and even as a board member of the Georgia Downtown Association, I represent Douglasville. And I can say to everybody, those cities all had something interesting, all had something different. But you do appreciate being back home, because everybody, as bad as you think we may have certain things that are not so great, all of those cities have things that are also not so great. But we have certain things that are better. There were certain things that I can, go and say, we can probably take that and tweak that and make that our own. So a lot of things to learn, and a lot of things I took back and said, we're doing a lot of things right.
Okay, so will we ever get back? Will Douglasville ever get back on the Georgia Cities bus tour?
I would say yes, because the cities that we went to had not been visited for 3 to 5 years. So usually they do a rotation. This was the South Georgia rotation.
Okay.
I'm not certain where they're going next year, but I would expect that probably in another 3 years or so, people can expect for the bus tour to come back. And one of the advantages for having those folks on the tour, a lot of them, this is their first time actually understanding the importance of downtown. So they kind of get a different perspective of how our governments, because most of the communities we met the downtown staff person, and we met either their community development director, your or my counterpart, and 1 or 2 elected officials. And sometimes there was even a chamber representative and county officials there. So they kind of got an idea of how those governments worked to beautify, renovate their downtown. Some of them were government projects and some of them were private-owned projects that people would come into. One of the most interesting things that I thought when we went to downtown Valdosta, I think the company's name, and I will be corrected if I'm wrong, is Clientele, which, when you get the calls where to remind you of your doctor's appointment, they are in downtown Valdosta. And their headquarters are downtown Valdosta, Chicago, and Hawaii.
Wow.
So imagine the person when you get the call that said you will be
transferring from Hawaii to Valdosta.
So
same kind of weather though, right?
Pretty much.
It's just
except for Chicago.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was actually great for a downtown like Valdosta to have a corporate company that's headquartered in Chicago and Hawaii as well. So definitely interesting in talking to those folks and how they were able to bring in a company such as that into their downtown area, because they do employ a lot of people. They did an outstanding renovation on their building, of course, because they had the financing to be able to do it. So I think it was a very good experience for me on a professional level, and definitely I hope that I represented the city of Douglasville well, which I think I always do. So, and the Georgia Downtown Association. But,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a look at a little bit of that bus tour, and when we get back, we'll talk about Georgia Municipal Association and how we benefit from being a member of the Georgia Municipal Association.
That's right.
And we'll be right back.
And we're about to hit the road for the 10th annual Heart and Soul Bus Tour, sponsored by the Georgia Cities Foundation. 3 days, 9 cities, and 55 people on this bus. Wow. It's going to be fun.
This project is being partially funded with the DDRLF, so we're real excited about this project. and it allowed us to provide 5 or 6 additional little retail spaces.
What people are doing in downtown.
The whole purpose of the tour is to help cities understand what they can do to revitalize their downtowns.
The cities have shown us such incredible hospitality. Welcome to Moultrie.
We want to welcome you to our fine city.
It's a pleasure to have you here, to be in this community.
Well, I think that's about a wrap.
It was a great trip. There was 3 very hectic days, yes. 9 great cities, yes. And about 50 really tired riders.
And I would definitely encourage anybody who hasn't gone to any of these great cities that they really do need a visit.
They really are the heart and soul of Georgia.
Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, we're back.
We're back with some more discussion on
the bus tours. Right.
The bus tours.
Of course, there could never be another Jeff and Marcia. Never. Anywhere in the world.
I was just checking.
But there wasn't. But because our titles are changed with services, I've actually gotten a couple inquiries from other organizations wanting to know how was our organizational chart set up, because they would actually like to do something very similar. So I think they were trying to get away from that community development model and trying to separate the departments, because, you know, most cities, their community development department houses, it would be both you and I and our departments combined. Right. So they were trying to get away from that. So I think that we have actually struck a chord with some of the communities out there. So they're looking to emulate us, which is a good thing. We are the model everywhere we go. I think it's a good thing. But no, I didn't see you out in any city. Like that magazine cover, remember you sent me that? You said Dawn said that guy looked like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see any guy like that.
And then there's this other HGTV show about an inspector in San Francisco that somebody called me and said, oh my God, that guy looks just like you. Yeah, it was crazy. And he was in a similar type role. He was. So
you're a quarterback for the Falcons. You're on some kind of entrepreneur.
No, that wasn't entrepreneur. That was an educational magazine. He was like science teacher of the universe.
Okay, so you're a science teacher of the universe. So what else are you?
And a community coordinator for San Francisco. What that guy wasn't.
I'll keep an eye out, whenever I go.
And keep looking for Martian. There's only one of you.
No, I just don't find. And maybe it's because I change my hair so often. Maybe that's why I just don't find her. But there was actually a lot of media coverage while we were there.
Okay.
So, I actually found myself on the news in Albany.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I really was.
My only claim to fame is being on the news in Savannah one time.
No. Speaking of Savannah, are you going to Savannah?
Speaking of Savannah.
In June?
No. I may go in June, but I may not go when you go in June.
So you go for fun stuff.
It's a popular vacation area.
It is.
It's a great little city in the state of Georgia that we frequent from time to time.
It is nice.
But what you're talking about is our Georgia Municipal Association yearly convention.
Yep. Lots of people. I think it boasts 2,500 people. I think somewhere around there is the number.
Well, there's a lot of cities that participate in the Georgia Municipal Association. It's a conglomeration of cities.
Yep.
That benefit from all joining the same organization.
Yes.
through benefit not only through monetary savings because of their health insurance programs, their retirement programs.
Yes.
What else?
They even offer recognition programs for elected officials, cities, communities. Their loan programs.
Yep.
And also training, a big component, because that's their, they do training throughout the course of the year, but this is their annual conference where probably if you're an elected official and you don't go to any training, this is probably the one that you go to is the annual conference. And
they do a great job at that, because elected officials, what qualifies them to do their job?
That's right. They are mandated. Am I correct? I'm not certain the hours of training, but they are mandated to receive some training, and most, if not all, receive that training through the University of Georgia's Fanning Institute via the Georgia Municipal Association.
Right, and they come down. Every time we elect new elected officials, they travel to Savannah for the first time, and that may not be their first training class, but they do travel to Savannah with the primary goal to complete all their training hours that are required for new elected officials.
Yep.
And a lot of that is really training that they've never experienced. It's the type of you and I went to a training session the other day, and it's quite eye-opening to understand what your duties are as an elected official. Or any board official that has anything to do with money or setting policy, ethics, setting policy for an organization, ethics. It's all very important, and it's not taken lightly by the training either. They really go in depth and show a lot of.
And it is a full day of training. So even though they're going to Savannah, a great place to visit in the summer, they are usually the classes are from 8 to 5. Yeah. So it's a full day of training for a few days, and I think it's also probably, if you were to ask them, it's a good opportunity for networking with their peers. So if there are questions, if there are concerns about issues and different things that are going on here in Douglasville, they can talk to communities that are similar to ours, to their peers, and kind of chat out the discussion and figure out if we're headed in the right direction, or there are certain things that we hadn't thought about. So I know when I meet with the Georgia Downtown Association, it is a good networking opportunity, because I always get a chance to bounce off ideas from my peers, and sometimes they clue me in on things I hadn't even thought about.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity to share your problems with other communities and let them know. They may not even have those problems yet, but may have them in the future. Yeah. Let them know how you're dealing with them, and try to garner some information about how some of the other cities have dealt with the problems. Right. There are great ideas that always come back from Savannah every year. So it's a great opportunity for our elected officials, as well as the rest of the state's elected officials to go down and.
Well, a group in your department got some recognition last year. They were actually part of the training panel, and that was the communication staff.
They sure did. They went down and they worked very, very hard.
Yes.
They filmed, the daily video blog or whatever it is that the Georgia Municipal Association shows every morning. They really took it a step above and beyond anything they've ever done before, and had my staff down there working night and day, and they did a great job, and then received recognition from the Georgia Municipal Association. Yes. They had an all expenses paid stay in Savannah where they worked night and day. And they get to go back this year to do the same thing.
And I think, folks should know that that's definitely kudos to your staff, to what we do. And, folks should be proud of Douglasville, because that is actually shown to communities all around the state. So it's not just Metro, it's not just in that area. So people are looking at us as leaders and people who are doing great things, especially in the realm of communication. So I think that's awesome for us.
Yeah, and it's coming up. It'll be here before we know it.
Yes.
You've gotten your request to be there.
I have, as part of the Downtown Development Authority training. Actually, folks may not know, if you are or have been appointed or know somebody that's been appointed to the Downtown Development Authority, or if you don't know anything about it, they are actually required by law, the authority, to have 8 hours of development authority training within their career as a development authority member. So that's actually put on by GMA as well through UGA and the Fanning Institute, and staff members who work with those boards have to have that training as well. So I have had that training not a long time ago. We've been here almost 7 years. 7 years, Jeff? Is that right?
I've only been here like a year.
Okay, whatever. So anyway,
I'm still quite
back when I was a young pup, a young city pup. I had DDA training. So now I have been requested as a representative of Douglasville because they think that we're so great, and also as a representative of GDA to be a panel and also teach one of the sessions during that 8-hour session. So I will be there on Saturday, the first day of the training.
You have to teach for 8 hours?
No, a portion of it. It'll be about 2.5 hours. So just one segment.
You got enough material for 2.5 hours?
Board development.
Is it scripted?
No, but I should know a lot about board development, don't you think? Probably I have more boards than anybody.
You know what? You should use the same training we went to the other day.
Oh, no.
And go over that. It was a great opportunity.
Was it great?
To scare the life out of people.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting training. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Fiduciary duty.
Yes. But we will be speaking from the manner of boards that work with city governments, primarily authorities, because one of the things that are different, depending upon when your development authority was created in the state, you could either be constitutional or non-constitutional. We are non-constitutional. Constitutional means that you pretty much operate as an authority without any say-so from the city government.
Right.
So the city government has some say-so with our authority.
Right.
So, but there are some out there that are not, just a few. So, you really talking to the aspect of how, as an authority member who is appointed by your city government, how you operate in that arena, and also how you work as a board to be able to get some projects done. And also there's the whole Main Street component as well, because you can have a downtown development authority and not be a Main Street city. You can actually have a downtown development authority and a Main Street board. They don't have to operate as the same, but they do operate with the same mission. So all that good stuff.
Is that like wearing socks with sandals?
Well, it depends on which one you choose. If you're actually going to choose the 2 board, where you have a Main Street board and a DDA board, you're probably like you're wearing socks with sandals. You can do it, but it really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay. All right. I was just checking. I was trying to draw a similarity with how things operate.
You work with a board. Would you like to have 2 boards focusing on the same mission?
No, it's difficult.
Yes.
It's difficult even with taking zoning board, taking items straight to the city council from zoning board. It's difficult to explain, not necessarily to the board, but to everybody that sees how the board operates, what the role is.
Right.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. So we're one of the cities that we do it the right way.
We try to do it the right way.
We do. We have a downtown development authority that serves as our Main Street board, and their focus primarily is on downtown development and revitalizing downtown. So that is what I'll be talking about.
Well, that's a lot of information.
Lots.
For this episode of GOV 101. But we're still doing what we said we were going to come here to do, and that's tell people about how our government works. Okay. That's it for GOV 101 for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yes.